What is up? This is your LA in a minute, and love it or hate it, the 405 is the most important thoroughfare in all of Los Angeles. It's the longest, it's the most trafficked, and it took a true feat of architecture and human ingenuity to even get it opened up 61 years ago. I'm talking about the 405 Freeway. Let's get into it. The 405, also known as the San Diego Freeway, is actually an auxiliary route of Interstate 5, and it runs 72.4 miles from San Fernando to Irvine. It's the busiest and most congested thoroughfare in the United States, with more than 370,000 vehicles traversing the freeway every day. The 405 was approved with federal funds constructing the project in 1955. Shovels went in the ground and construction began in 1957, with the first section being built north of LAX. Construction on that first segment was completed in 1961, and it was initially known as State Route 7, but also the San Diego Freeway. Now, we should note that the 405 traces an indigenous footpath that was used for centuries, and the native people actually provided that footpath to Gaspar de Portola and his Spanish expedition as they followed the route on their way to Monterey. Now, that trail formerly became a wagon road in 1875 when the two wheat barons of the valley, Isaac Lancashire and Isaac Newton Van Nuys, widened the footpath to allow the passage of sturdy wagons. That lane eventually became Sepulveda Canyon Boulevard, which was hailed by the LA Times as a new and wondrous highway. By 1935, there was the opening of a 650-foot tunnel beneath the summit at Mulholland Drive, but by the time traffic started flowing, the road was already considered inadequate. By the late 1950s, engineers developed a project to keep traffic flowing freely through the pass. They would tear up Sepulveda Canyon and then rebuild it to build a superhighway known as the Sepulveda Freeway. Beginning in August of 1960, earth movers carved a gorge 1,800 feet wide and 260 feet deep through the mountains in less than 2 years. Construction was truly an architectural marvel. The existing Mulholland Highway and bridge had to be moved. 18 million yards of cubic earth had to be removed, and 90,000 cubic yards of concrete were poured. In addition, there were 6 million pounds of steel holding it all together. Finally, on December 21st, 1962, the 8-lane 405 freeway opened with a ribbon cutting and a caravan of cars cruising through the Sepulveda Pass. And true to form, within minutes, motorists flooded the northbound lanes above Sunset Boulevard, and traffic backed up for more than a mile, causing the first SIG alert ever on the 405 freeway. It's also interesting to note that the 405-10 interchange was designed by Marilyn Jorgen Reese, who was the first woman in California to be registered as a civil engineer, and that interchange has received multiple architectural awards throughout the last 60 years. The 405 was also the scene of the famous car chase with O.J. Simpson and Al Cowlings in the white Bronco in 1994. And in 2011 and again in 2012, a 10-mile stretch of the freeway was actually shut down for construction in an event that people called Carmageddon. But that didn't stop this trio from having a nice candlelit dinner on the freeway. So it's the longest, it has the most traffic, and it was really a feat even just to get this thing open in the first place. And that's why the 405 is the most important thoroughfare in Los Angeles. All right, LA, it's been a minute.